Hi, my name is Jeremy, and I'm so glad to see you again. And today we're going to be talking about this topic called how to multiply your profits and scale your business. So, this is a topic that many companies is very interested in. And it sounds like a very commonsensical topic, right? Everybody want to multiply their profits and everybody want to scale their business. But I'm sure you can identify with some companies that just can't seem to grow. But before we go into the topic, let me just talk a little bit about where the ideas come from. So this the concept we're going to be sharing with you come from this book called Scaling Up. And Scaling Up is by Vern Harnish. Vern is a very famous business writer and business teacher that's helped thousands of companies to scale their business. And I'm very privileged to be able to learn from him and to co-teach with him sometimes and to work with the companies in Asia to grow their business. So let me just introduce myself a little bit. My name is Jeremy again. I'm a scaling up coach. I teach the Rockefeller habits and I help companies who want to implement these ideas into their company. So many business owners, they read the book and they say, wow, this can really help me to scale my business, but I need somebody who has done it before in his own company and in other companies to put in place this system to help me to grow. So that's who I am and that's what I do. So today we're going to ask ourselves this question, and that is why some companies grow and why some companies don't. Is it really about hard work, luck, or brains? Is it because some companies are smarter or they work harder than other companies and that's why they can grow? So to start off, let me just tell you a story. So I spoke to a business leader once. This business leader is in the area of the medical industry, and he's actually a brilliant guy with PhD. And he devised actually a methodology and some equipment that could be patented, and when that could be turned into a business model, he would actually be able to grow his business really well because he has got a great idea and a great product and a good system and he has got several patents done about that. And he actually came to me and asked me this question and said, why can't I scale my business? Now, I've been in business for more than 10 years, doing this thing, and I just can't seem to grow beyond the $1 million mark. And the sad thing is that his patents have attracted the attention of some very important investors who want to scale his business. They want to invest in his business. And they actually told him and said that, but my friend, no matter how good your patent might be, but if your business cannot grow to 10 million, we can't invest in you. So can you imagine how he felt when he heard that, right? They tell him that he has got a great product, he's smart, but unless he has got a system to scale his business, he's not going to be able to attract investors and he's not going to be able to create great value for himself as the business owner. So he could not reap the benefits of all his hard work simply because he could not break through and scale his business beyond that $1 million mark even after 10 years, despite having such a good product. So what I would really want to share with you today is this question of, do you have a growth system? Everybody, every company needs to have a growth system. Otherwise, no matter how hard they work or how smart they are, they will not be able to scale their business beyond a certain point. And I'm just wondering at this point of time when you're listening in, are you struggling with scaling your business beyond a certain point? Have you hit a certain ceiling? Because so many business owners, when they started out, they were full of energy, full of hard work, and they're very intelligent, full of passion, and they believe in their business, but that could only take them so far. And we help them to break through by now having a scaling up system. And today I want to talk to you about this system of how to multiply your profits and to scale your business. But first, what do you think will happen if you don't have a growth system? What are the lessons we can learn from this business owner that I've spoken to? Right? Definitely, we will lose out to other businesses who have a growth system. They might not be as smart as us, they might not work as hard as us, but because they have a system that systematically drive growth, very soon other people will overtake us if we just depend on hard work and good luck. So, what do you think will happen to your business if you do not have a growth system? So, what I would like to help you with today is to put in place this profit multiplication system. You see, there are systems for many things, but today we want to focus on a very dedicated topic, and that is how to multiply profits. Because to multiply profits, it has to be a very intentional, systematic way of looking at the business and then saying what needs to be done. So today I'm going to break that down and share with you a two-step process on how you can multiply your profits and scale your business and break through. The first step is about getting more leads and then converting them into sales. Again, now this sounds like a very commonsensical formula, right? Everybody knows you need to get more leads and then convert them, but how? We're going to talk about that. And the second step is really about taking the revenue and then multiplying on the profit margin. So what is the profit margin? It is after you take the sales minus the cost. That's your profit margin. But what we're going to be talking about is a strategy to increase your price so that your profit margin goes up. So let's talk about step number one. Leads times conversion percent equals to sale. So how do we increase our leads and our conversion? So now what we want to focus on is to generate more leads, and then what is that process to convert these leads into sales? So let's jump in. First of all, I want to introduce you to this concept known as the brand promise. What is a brand promise? So we all know about brand and branding. Brand is basically who you are, your story, what you represent, and branding is what you do to grow that brand, that reputation. But the brand promise is really about what do people ultimately get from doing business with you? What do you actually promise? What can they expect? And that is actually a very important part because you want to reduce the customer's risk of doing business with you. He needs to feel safe. They need to know that, wow, this brand actually promised this. Now, what happens is that all our customers are actually standing in a very crowded and noisy marketplace. Everybody is talking and saying that they are the best. But a promise is something that helps them to see straight away, wow, this is my pain point, and this is the value proposition that's going to address my pain point. And because of that, it makes you stand out. So a promise is something that tackles your customers' needs and fears. And straight away they know that the two or three most important pain point or frustration they have in dealing with any companies is something that you promise you will be dealing with it in a very strategic and intentional way. So that is a way to generate more leads and also conversion because they are assured of what they are getting from you when they see your brand promise. So let me give you an example. So this airline called Southwest, when it first started many years ago in the 1970s, they were a new company competing against the established domestic airlines in the United States. So the management said, okay, how do we as a new player beat the big boys? So as you know today, Southwest has won best airline many years, many times. How did they do it? Well, they actually asked themselves this question: what is the most frustrating, the top three most frustrating thing for a business passenger taking a domestic airline? So the first is they say that, okay, people who want to go back early after work. This has been the 70s, right? Not now when there's not so many domestic flights, but the key pain point is it's too expensive. So people have to drive, take the train. So how do we help to lower the fares? The second one is lots of flights. When you're tired, you want to get home quick, but there's no flight, right? But what really differentiates them is this thing called lots of fun. Because they realize that one major frustration of business owners is that, wow, I'm already so stressed from this business trip. I want to go home now, and when I step onto a plane, I don't feel welcomed at all, right? The service is poor. I just feel that I'm not welcome on this plane. So they promise lots of fun. So they make these three things the focus of all their energy so that they stand out. So even before you buy a ticket on the airline, the people already know, wow, this is what I'm going to get, right? So and they keep this promise because they know that this is something that gives them that value proposition and it converts people, it attracts leads and then it converts leads into sales because people are sure, people know exactly what they are going to get, right? And what they're going to get is what exactly deals with their frustration and pain points. So I like this a crop screen crop from an article that said they're known for having the nicest crew. Make friends with your flight attendants, right? They are known to be so friendly in making you feel welcome on the plane, in a industry where people generally don't feel welcome. So that is a brand promise. People know in advance what they're going to be getting from you. Are you making that clear so that people, when they look at all the service offerings in a very crowded and noisy marketplace, straight away they can zoom in to you and say, this is exactly what I know I'm going to get. So how do you now convert these leads into sales? So I want to share a story with you about this lady. You see her. This is her and her husband, right? So she's one of the most dedicated students I have in Vietnam who attends every one of my sessions, because she attended before she attended my session, her English school stagnated with 700 students for a long time. She just couldn't break through. And after she came for our class and applied what we taught her, she grew her business to 3,000 students in a span of 2 years. So being stagnated for a long time, and then in 2 years, she grew her business 4 times from 700 to 3,000 students. So I asked her this question: how did you leapfrog your sales? And she said that I want to share a very simple, I applied a very simple concept that you taught us, and that is when I've got leads, what do I tell them? What do I tell these leads to convert them? And I realized that what they don't want to hear are technical details and all those details. What they really want to hear is your story. So she asked herself this question: what is really my purpose in teaching English to all the students, right? It's not just to sell another English program, but really to help every child to achieve their goals. So she said that in the past, she would, in her sales meeting, it would be, how many English programs are you selling? How many people are you meeting? Now she changed the way she talked to her team, and that is, she started to ask them, how are we helping parents to help their children to fulfill their dreams? And with that change in tone and approach, her teammates actually start to buy in and say, yeah, we are here to help every parent, help every child to fulfill their dreams. And when they talk like that, instead of going to a parent and say, this is our English program, this is what we do, this is what our teachers do, they go to a parent, a lead, and ask the lead this question: how can we help your child to fulfill his or her dreams? And parents, they love to talk about their children, right? They love to talk about their children. And because of that, they were able to convert many of these leads to sales. And that's why they grew from 700 students to 3,000 students in 2 years after attending my course. And this is actually a concept taught by Simon Sinek from his concept of the golden circle. In the golden circle, he talks about the 3 levels of engagement, and very often we like to talk about what we do and how we do it, and maybe we don't even talk about why we do it. But his point is, we need to start with the why. Right? We need to talk about why we do things and how we do it, and then what do we do. So in this particular case, her conversation with a business lead would be, we are doing English programs because we want to help every child to fulfill their ambition, their dreams. That's the why. How do we help these children to fulfill their dreams is we run English programs. And what do I actually sell? Now, this is actually the program. What do we do in class? How many times a week? These are our teachers. So they move from why to what. And this is the point when people actually want to talk to you, because they want to hear your why. People love to hear your story. They want to buy into your story before they do business with you. And that's how she supercharged her sales and grew from 700 students to 3,000 students in 2 years, even after stagnating for so long. So the first step is really about, how do we get more leads through a brand promise, and how do we convert these leads into sales, is to use the golden circle method. Now, the second step I want to share with you is about how to now increase your profit margin. So you have got a sale, and after you got a sale, now how much of that is actually turned into profits? And A very, very key component of that is really to understand the difference between price and value. Because every one of my clients tell me they struggle with this question: can you give me a discount? Right? Every customer goes to my client and say, I want a lower price. I want a lower price. Right? So should you give a discount? But what is even more important is, what does this price mean? And when they said, can you lower a price? Are they really asking you to lower the value? So what does a discount mean? Does it mean that they want more value or less value? You see, the problem is that most of the time we equate price with value. But what we really want to do is to understand that they're two different things, and how do we communicate that? So first, let me ask you a question. Okay, what is this product that you see on the screen? It's a bottle of water, right? And I used to do this a little test with my clients, and I asked them, okay, a bottle of water, how much does that cost? And usually the answer is that it costs about $1, maybe on average dollar, depending on where you are. And I asked them this question: would you ever pay $10,000 for this? And the answer is no, no way, it's crazy, right? Who would ever pay $10,000 for a bottle of water? Now, I asked them this question next: where is this place? So this is a desert, right? Now, if you are in a desert and you have $10,000 in your pocket, and there's only one bottle of water, and the price of that bottle of water is $10,000, would you pay it? So now almost everybody in the room would say yes, because now what do they see? The bottle, the price of the bottle is the value. So what I really want you to understand from this little example is, how often do we bring out the value of what we are selling? If we don't do that, people become focused on the price, and that's when they want to ask you for a discount. But if you can bring up the value, which is how this will actually solve your pain points, then their focus will not be on the price, but on, wow, this can really solve my problem. So, what we really want to do is to communicate the value versus communicating the price. So many businesses I know struggle with just talking about price with the client, but they don't spend enough time communicating and showing the value. And the value, let me repeat that, which is very important, is how much of your pain point am I actually solving? How big is that problem that I'm solving for you? Is it, am I saving you a lot of time? Am I saving you a lot of money? Am I saving you a lot of frustration? So communicate value rather than communicate price. And in order to communicate value, you need a strategy. And that's what I do with companies. I work with them to come up with a 3-option way to deal with, to help to communicate your best value. And we don't have time in today's videos, but if you are interested, there's a whole series on this, free videos. You can go to that and then you can watch that. Okay, it's on cash. And third is really the point that value is pegged to the customer's level of pain you are solving for him. If what you are solving for him is not that serious, then he's going to ask you for a discount. But if he really understands and feels that, wow, you are solving this level of pain for me, and suddenly the price will not seem high, then that's when they start to feel that they are getting a great deal, and now you are the one commanding the price and not the customer. So, the key question you need to ask yourself today is, do you have a strong brand promise that will attract potential customers or leads because they find that your products and services are aligned to their needs? Do you have that strong brand promise that straight away the customer feels, wow, what this company promises is exactly going to be solving my frustration? Then to convert these leads to sales, remember, you don't just talk about the what, you are also selling them the why, because that will give a more compelling speech. Think about that. We are all humans. Humans love a great story. They want to feel that they are part of something. And that's why selling the why is always more compelling than selling the what. And lastly, to close the deal, you want to close the deal with a price that's favorable to you and not favorable to the customer. Because if it's favorable to the customer, it's at your expense. So how do we get the maximum profits? By communicating value, and that involves a pricing strategy. And that's something I work with a lot of companies on. So Some questions for you to think about before we end. First, do you have a growth system? Are you growing your business systematically, or are you just working very hard? Can you articulate what are your customers' top three pain points that they want you or your industry to solve? And the third one is, do you have a promise that deals with these pain points? So are you matching exactly what you're offering, your value proposition, with these pain points so that people can see it straight away and say, wow, this is the company that I want to go to? And do you have a compelling story to sell? Right? Give them a strong why they should be doing business with you and not with somebody else. And lastly, when you communicate with them on the business, are you talking about price or are you talking about value? Learn to shift the conversation to value, and you will see that your customers are no longer paying attention on just the price, and that's when you will be the one that can command the price. So, these concepts that I've shared with you come from the 4 decisions framework found in the book Scaling Up. I'm very glad to share this with you because these are really the lessons and examples that I gained from working with so many companies across the region. And this is who I am. My name is Jeremy Han. I'm very happy to have you again here with me on this short video. And I hope what I've shared with you from my experience working with so many companies is helpful. And if you want to know more, get in touch with us. What we really want to offer you is a series of videos that you can watch free, but it systematically addresses those questions that you have about scaling up your business. But if you want to go further and know how to really scale your business, also get in touch with us at grow@growthcatalyst.com.sg, because we have got a diagnostic test that you can get you and your team to answer a set of questions, and the set of questions will generate a report that will tell you how ready are you to scale your business. So if you are really interested in scaling your business, you want to understand where are the gaps and what you need to do to scale your business, I repeat, get in touch with us at grow@growthcatalyst.com.sg, and we can give you this task to begin that conversation on how to scale your business. So thank you very much for listening in. I really enjoy sharing with you so many of the lessons that I've learned working with clients across Asia, and I hope I can really help you to scale your business through these videos. And all the best to you. Thank you very much, and see you again.